Welcome back to the Mount to Peak Clean podcast. I'm your host, Ashley. For those of you who don't know, I run a small cleaning business in the Rocky Mountains of Crow's Nest Pass. Beautiful, beautiful place, lovely community. You can find our content on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. YouTube is where you will get the podcast to listen and watch, and you can also listen on Spotify. So this podcast, we'll be reading and discussing Reddit stories about cleaning. That's what we do here. But first, I want to discuss where I think the podcast is heading. And this is really important. I want to take the first few minutes to do this, and then we'll get right into the stories, okay? This podcast is going to be for anyone, whether you own a cleaning business or a small business who may or may not live in a small town, but struggles with the mindset of pricing around that. And it's not just going to be that. Well, we're going to have a lot of laughs along the way, but let's dive into why I started the podcast and where I think it's going. So this is completely coming from my experience in the little town. When I first started researching to see if a cleaning company was even viable, I could only find maybe 2 cleaners online, and they were under another company that did house checks. And that's where I found their pricing. That's where I found market pricing. Granted, I didn't have social media at the time, so there were probably lots of cleaners on Facebook asking for cleans, or people who were asking for cleaners. But for websites, Google, a professional platform, any online presence, I couldn't find any of that. Not that those cleaners were not professional or great at their job, I just couldn't find anything. What I found was those cleaners were charging $30 an hour. That was the going rate. That was the highest rate I could find. So after months and months and months of research, I probably researched for about 18 months before I started my first clean. I researched all the resources that I needed to run a professional business because I wanted to do it right from the start. It had nothing to do with my actual skill. It was all the material I needed, the invoicing platforms, the website, the cleaning supplies, the insurance, the licensing, the space in my house, how often I'm going to be using the washer machine, the dryer machine, all of that, my car expenses, my time driving in between everything, my time before and after clean. I researched the crap out of it. And I knew that $30 an hour was not going to be enough to cover it. So in order to stay relevant and in the same realm of pricing, I first did $35 an hour for maintenance clean, $45 an hour for a deep clean, and $55 an hour for a move out clean. Those were made up prices. Okay, I knew that $35 an hour would not pay for the extra materials it takes to do a deep clean or a construction clean or a move out clean. So that's why I did the 3 different tiers of pricing. Spoiler alert, those prices were just enough to cover my expenses with a little extra at the end. I think I made $18,000 after taxes, not even. Probably not even. I worked all the time. That's below minimum wage at those prices. As a solo cleaner, this was before I had staff expenses. So I knew what my prices should be, but I didn't have the confidence to ask for them. And let's be clear, my pricing had nothing to do with how good of a cleaner I was. I was shitty back then. It's literally just ones and zeros. It's math. I added everything up, and then I calculated the cost of the clean, and I put those onto the client with a 20% to 50% markup, depending on the clean. My confidence also went down because of how many clients just berated them. Like, I have screenshots, I have text messages, I have so many things of clients just being like, that's wrong. They're literally telling me that they're wrong, that my pricing was wrong without asking anything. And a part of that is because the market was $30 an hour, $20 an hour. And mathematically in 2020, 2026, that just didn't add up. You can't even buy groceries for that. Okay, so then I started to make a lot of content explaining why my prices were so high, and also to show the value of our cleans, because we clean really well, and I'm very proud of the systems that I built. I spent a lot of time, hours and hours, figuring out my systems and making sure that they were right. And I still tweak them today. And I'm very, very proud and love the fact that my staff respect it and they clean to that standard. And I've said it before, I have videos of it. I've said it lots before. We are not perfect, but we freaking try our best and we fix our mistakes and we grow and learn every day. I also tell other cleaners with my content to charge more. And again, this is based off of my experience in my little town. Please charge more so that my prices don't look so out of whack and that you are actually able to put food on your table and pay your business expenses. And I know not everyone can just charge more because that's not how the economy works, but we all can't charge $35 an hour either. It works both ways. So getting back to the podcast and the direction I think it will go. So I'm no longer going to put such a focus on that and pricing. I've said what I've said. I've had my thoughts and emotions about it, and I just want to move past it. I don't have a scarcity mindset. I think we can all be successful in our cleans because if it truly is a gift that you're wanting to share with the world, you deserve that too. It doesn't matter how many cleaners are in your town or online. If it's coming from your heart and from God, you deserve to share that, and there will be enough work for you because it'll be your unique cleaning that you do, and there will be people there for you who will purchase those cleans. I don't want the market share. I don't have time for it. I don't have the resources for it. I only want the clients who vibe with us and want to support my staff and want to support the things that we do in the community. Those are the people that I go for. And I can honestly say that I cannot compete with other cleaners and their prices. I can't compete with cleaners who are charging $25 an hour and paying their staff $20 an hour. I cannot compete with cleaners who take cash for every clean because everything's under the table. There's a market for that. It's not my market, and I wish you all the best who do that. But I always wanted to do things the right way, supporting women and supporting the community. And I need to support myself too. Lastly, I wanted to say thank you to everyone who has supported me this far. Clients, online followers, friends, family. I can say, like, from the bottom of my heart, thank you. Now that I have a TikTok that went viral, I've literally impacted millions of people. So that's not nothing to me. That means a lot to me. The amount of people that I can help is also the amount of people that I can hurt. So I'm going to try my best to always come from a place of love. And I'm just done being grumpy. I don't want to be grumpy anymore. I can only provide what I can provide. My pricing's high, but it's fair. And it means that I'm going to be around for a long time, providing jobs for people and supporting the community the way I always envisioned. So thank you guys so much. My friends and my family are literally the first people to like my comments or to like and comment on my posts. So I've surrounded myself with good people. Thank you for listening, and let's get started with today's podcast. I have some good ones for you today. This is another solo one. I have a guest speaker come in for our next podcast, and I'm so excited to share her with you guys. She's a member of the community, and she's just amazing, and I love her, so I can't wait for that. My podcast stories come from Airbnb, our housekeeping, cleaning tips, homemaking, those types of things, and they are a riot. So this one is from our Airbnb. Title says, condo was filthy, host denied refund request, and Airbnb closed their ticket, South Carolina. So question. This is a long one, and I'll try to be as unbiased as possible, but we need help. My husband and I, along with our 6-year-old, rented a condo this past weekend with a Friday 4 p.m. check-in and check-out on Sunday. We were already at our destination by lunchtime and hung out on the beach until we could check in after the unit was cleaned. We were told we could not check in early to give the cleaners ample time to be expected, but we always ask just in case. I do that too. I'll ask, hey, is there any chance we can get early check-in? Yes or no? No big deal. We checked in around 4:15, and immediately upon walking in, I could tell the unit wasn't clean. There was something on one of the base bedspreads, but I just folded it down so we wouldn't touch it. Full disclosure, we did take showers because at first glance, it was just okay. But while I waited for my son and my husband to shower, I got a good look at how dirty the place was. There were crumbs all over the couch. There was left of a caked on bar of soap in the bathroom counter, splatter on the bathroom mirror, mold in the shower, and oily looking spots all over the sheets. All of this told me the unit wasn't cleaned, or at least not well, and had not been well maintained over time. On top of all of this, there was a full kitchen in the unit and the fridge was not cold. By 5 p.m. and a few messages with the host, we had decided we would not be staying in this unit and requested a refund. The only question he asked about the fridge is what setting we had it on. We just checked in. He initially agreed to send a new cleaner out and admitted that the cleaners were having an off day, but told us it would be a few hours and that they likely couldn't get new linens to us that day. After we sent pictures of all the cleaning issues we saw, we were accused of moving furniture and just trying to find things wrong. And he said he was canceling the cleaning because we went from a few crumbs to needs a deep cleaning and a new linen. He told us we were refusing his fix. We opened a ticket with Airbnb and the host denied the refund, stating that we were liars. We spent 4+ hours in the unit and left it a mess for their cleaner. For their cleaner that arrived at 9 p.m. We were in the unit for less than 45 minutes, and we did shower because before I had a chance to really look around, we planned to stay. But the towels were left hanging on the provided hooks on the door, and the only other thing we touched was the one bed with the comforter pulled down. We never even sat on the bed or a chair. Ultimately, Airbnb ended up also denying our request for a refund with no explanation. Everything else aside, the host himself admitted the cleaners didn't do a good job, and even though we had to wait until 4 to check in while they cleaned, had we stayed, we would have had to been expected to be out of the unit until 10 p.m. at the earliest while the cleaners cleaned a second time. Because the earliest the cleaner could get there was 8:30 per the host. Keep it in mind, we have a young child. This was an incredibly unreasonable ask. At minimum, we should be refunded for the first night where we would not have been able to occupy the unit until 10 p.m. Do we have any recourse here? Am I nuts? Wow. So there's a lot in the comments that actually are good explanations for when you pick an Airbnb. Sometimes I like to give my opinion before, sometimes I like to wait to after the comments. Let's read some of the comments. I am a host. If someone checked in and within an hour was messaging me with issues and didn't want to stay, I'd absolutely refund the stay. I've refunded a night for smaller issues than that. I'd call Airbnb support again if it were me. Somebody else says, curious because I use a lot of Airbnbs when traveling and I like to do deep dives before I rent a place. Were you renting from the owner directly or was the unit managed by a company like Evolve or Vacasa? If renting from a host, how many other properties did the host show they managed? Also, what was the rating on the unit? So OP answers these questions. From the owner directly, their profile states over 50 properties, and they also state that they own the cleaning company that cleans all of their units. Rating on the unit was 4.4 with 16 reviews, 3 of which were negative regarding cleanliness, the broken fridge, and one other had issues with the window AC unit. I overlooked those because others were positive. One of them said that the host made them feel like it was their fault and an inconvenience that the amenities listed weren't functioning properly, which is also what we experienced. Okay, so that's the OP's explanation, and this is The other commenter. Well, there's your answer. It should not have come as a surprise how the unit was and how you were treated. They're running their property solely as a business. They have no actual skin in the game if renters are unhappy. I only book from owners that have at most 2 properties. I want to deal with the host who cares. I won't book any property with a rating at 4.75 or below, and I try to stay only at 4.85 and above. A 4.4 rating is atrocious. I wouldn't touch that booking for anything. That's a huge red flag. Okay, so I just want to comment on the ratings because this person is right. Because they own 50 properties, the host probably doesn't care as much. So ratings on Airbnb can be a little bit misleading, and a lot of people know that already. I have walked into disgusting Airbnbs left by the guests, and the host has already given them a 4 or 5-star rating. So I've walked into clean, it's been disgusting. Like, there's things that are ruined and stained, and like rings on cheap furniture, because most people have cheap furniture, which isn't necessarily the guest's fault, but they're not using coasters, and there's rings that like that's on there forever now. It's not coming off, or spills, just nasty stuff. And then the host, before they ask me what condition it's been left in, they've given them a 5-star rating already. Because if you give each other 5-star ratings, you won't get kicked off the platform. You won't lose your super host status. So even a 5-star rating, I would take with a grain of salt. Absolutely. This person says you have to give the host a chance to address the issue. You didn't. And another person commented on that. It's unreasonable to expect to wait while a cleaning crew comes in to do a job that was supposed to be already have been done. That's part of what they charge you for on the platform, cleaning fees. Not to mention the fact that your check-in day was at 4 p.m. is essentially half a day that you're paying full price for. And your checkout day at 10 p.m. is even shorter. Now you're expected to wait several hours for a dirty place to be cleaned. I don't feel like you should have to give the host an opportunity to do shit. The host should be confirming that the residence they're renting is ready to be rented. It's a business. They need to be responsible for running it as such. House isn't in order. That's on the host. That's true. I've spoken to other Airbnbs in the community, and I've had hosts tell me that their cleaner didn't show up, and they were lucky because their guests were super understanding and they just cleaned for them, so the host gave them a day free. But that's on the host. It's on the host. Like, as a cleaner, I took responsibility for it. Not that we ever didn't show up. I showed up and cleaned a house early because I was new to like the scheduling on the Airbnb when people check in and check out and what time that is. So they got their house cleaned in between one of the nights that they were there. All their stuff was out because they were supposed to be gone that day, but then they decided to stay. I've never not cleaned a house, but anytime something was missed, like I took personal responsibility for that. And I told the host, like, if we screw up, if we miss something, like, I'm giving you those cleans for free. I'm going to like come and fix it for free because like I'm the cleaning company and that's my job, is to make sure that it's ready for you guys. I did always try to do my best for that type of stuff. I haven't traveled a lot lately that has required me to stay at a place that wasn't like family or friends. So I'm kind of out of that realm personally right now as a consumer. Mostly I just know as a cleaner what my experiences are with Airbnbs. That was story number 1. Let's move on to story number 2. Thank you guys for watching, and if you enjoy this, let me know. I know the quality isn't as good, and I'm going to upgrade that, and the cool thing is you get to watch me do that. And then also like send this to people that you think would enjoy it. I want to make sure I'm serving you. So let me know in the comments what you like, what you don't like. And I really want to do listener stories. I think those are so fun when podcasts do that. So please send me your stories. Like, if you are a cleaner, send me your craziest stories. And I'll have a podcast episode dedicated to that, maybe once a month. Okay, this story number 2 is from our housekeeping. I love this subreddit. This person says, I would like to make a confession. Then rant. If you're leaving huge wads of hair on the shower wall to throw away later, I'm just going to rinse it down the drain. There's a lot of aspects of this job that are gross, but the hair really does it for me. I don't even clean my own shower drain because that hair grosses me out so bad. I am evil. Am I evil, or does anyone else just rinse it down the drain? I do not get the logic behind leaving hundreds of strands of hair on the shower wall. Everybody is gonna have their ick with cleaning. Okay, it doesn't matter that this is our job. We're all gonna have like that gross thing that literally grosses us out. This is this girl's hair. So it's same with that daycare. When I worked at the daycares, we all had like the one thing that's like, like this is like I'm gonna gag through this. Some people it's teeth, teeth falling out. Some people it's boogers. Some people it's poop. Mine is contact lenses. I don't want to touch your contact lenses. They gross me out. I don't know why. If I can just vacuum them up with my eyes closed, I will. I don't know why. I don't know why. It just is. That's what it is for me. Commenters say, I take some tissues, throw it out. It's gross, but it will be an issue for me if I ignore it when the drain clogs and I have to bug the homeowner to clean it so I can properly clean their tub. This other commenter says, I definitely don't clean out drains, but I would use a piece of toilet paper to remove a clump of hair off the shower wall while privately judging the person who left it there, lol. There are a few things that people should always do before their cleaner arrives. Pick up and put away clutter. Make sure there's no dirty dishes in the kitchen sink or on counters. Flush toilets and make sure there's no feces smeared anywhere. Clear away clumps of hair or debris that could be blocking the drains in sinks and showers. Throw away items that are just nasty, such as used Kleenex or nail clip-ins. Gag. I just use my vacuum hose to vacuum it. Most of my clients have drain catchers, and rinsing it off the wall would just cause me to clean it up anyway. And now it's wet hair instead of dry. But dealing with hair like this is just part of the job. That's funny. I had a staff member who did this, and I think she got it from working in a hotel. She would grab a piece of toilet paper and just wet it a little bit, and then she'd go around and grab all the dust and anything in the corners of the tub, which I liked. It wasn't our policy, so I had to train that out of her, but she would do that. I like this person who just does the same thing. Uses tissue and throws it out. This person grabs a vacuum cleaner and vacuums it up. I think I've seen that maybe one time. And like I know what they're talking about, but I think in my clients I've seen that once where there's just like gobs and gobs and gobs and gobs of hair on the shower wall, and like people just forget to grab it. Like I've done that before. We will surface unclog drains for sure. We do it for tubs, we do it for sinks. We can only do what we see. We don't snake it. We don't go in there with anything. We like have a plastic little thing, but it's not very long. It's maybe like that long. I'll grab whatever I can grab. Sometimes it's nasty. It is. But it's the same thing. If you don't do it, then the drain starts to go down slow. And when it goes down slow, it's harder to clean the bottom part of it because it leaves all that grime and like soaps come back there. And you have to like try to wipe it out. It's so much easier for that to go down the drain. Like I said, everyone's gonna have their nasty thing. Tell me what yours is in the comment. Mine is contact lenses. I do not like that. I don't know why. I have glasses, but I do not have contact lenses. Even the sound of it going in the vacuum freaks me out. That's creepy. Okay. This is Reddit story number 3. It goes by pretty fast when I'm solo because I have nobody else to discuss things with. However, I like doing the solo ones because I get better at communicating what's in my brain out here without always having to look at something. And I'm trying to get better at just saying it without looking at things. Anyways, that's story number 3 from our housekeeping as well. It says, worried about creeps. Client questions. I don't know if you would call it an irrational fear, but I just started my business, and so far it's for friends that I know. I want to start building and getting my name out to people, but I fear to put my name out there and have creeps try to prey on me through my business. Has anyone dealt with this? Is this something I shouldn't be too worried about? I'm just going to give my opinion right now and say that if you are cleaning for friends and family, you can get referrals by them, word of mouth. And then the bigger you get, the better you will be at knowing who the creeps are and staying away from them. It could happen though. Let's see what other commenters have gone through. Unfortunately, creeps are everywhere, can't be avoided. My advice is to trust your gut. If someone feels off, then it probably is. Cleaners definitely post here about strange guys and weird scenarios, and we always give same advice. Don't do it. If you're unsure when going to do a consultation, don't be afraid to take someone with you. Buddy system is always a good idea. If you clean for someone and they just give weird vibes, don't go back and don't feel guilty about it. Obviously, anybody, regardless of their gender, can be creepy, but typically speaking, single guys who live alone or creepy ass husbands. Some husbands can act real effing weird when the wife isn't around. Okay, so I'm going to say this. I've never had a creep experience, like ever, in like the 6 years that I've done this. I have been weary of people who have messaged me, and one of them is Brittany. She's on the podcast. You can go look at it. She lives in the middle of nowhere around here, and I wasn't sure if she was even a real person because we were just messaging on email. And I was going to a place that was like on a farm. So I was a little bit nervous about that. I always tell my partner where I'm going and how long I think it could be. Our walkthroughs take anywhere between 20 minutes to an hour, depending on what the client needs, because sometimes they just need somebody to vent to, and I'm okay to be that person. I've never had somebody be creepy towards me, though. We have had males, like 4 out of 5 times people have just walked into the house have been males. One time we just had our first female do it to us a couple weeks ago. So that can be a little strange. But I always tell the girls, like, situational awareness, we're aware of like the other exits in the house for that type of thing, and for fires and any other safety thing. And we typically work in teams as well. Not always, but places that we go now, like I would never send someone new to a place alone. When this person said, don't be afraid to take someone with you, I absolutely have taken my partner with me to go do walkthroughs at places where I didn't like the vibe. And did they turn out okay? Yeah, they were fine, but you just get a weird vibe sometimes, and I'm going to go with my instinct, whether it's right or wrong. I'll take my partner with me. Okay. This person, similar thing to me. I don't know, in 25 plus years in this business, I've never really had an issue, so it may be irrational to be really worried about creeps at the expense of expanding your business. In fact, some of my best customers have been single men, but that being said, you should exercise caution and use common sense when acquiring new clients. I think first step is when you speak with potential customers over the phone. You can get odd responses. If you get odd responses in your questions, or you get any strange vibes, you can just end it there. When you have a name, phone number, address, Google your friend. Google is your friend. I do the same thing. I'm going to stop here and say I will Facebook you or look you up on social media. Absolutely every time. Because I don't want, like, you could be fake. So any discrepancy in the information given to you should raise a yellow flag. There are also paid services that if you have a name and address, you can gather background check on the individual. It's important to let a trusted person know the address you are going to for a sales call. I still do this each and every time. Let them know the address and all other information on the potential customer. Let them know if they don't receive a phone call from you after 35 minutes of your appointment time, they should call you on the phone. Be prepared and be respectful and responsible with reaching out to your contact person. Another thing I've always done on a sales call, be it a man or woman, when touring the home, always stay behind the homeowner, let them lead the way. Trust your gut. If you feel something is off, you do not need to go into a house and you don't need to stay. I also always work in a home with doors locked and the garage door down. Yes, that is our policy too. As soon as we get into the house, lock the door. Some people know the codes and they just come in anyways. Another person says, will you get people like that contacting you? Sure. Does it really matter? No. Feel free to ignore and move on. Another person says, yeah, sometimes you can just tell by the initial contact via email or website or phone. Nah, dude, the creep vibes are strong and I'm certainly not coming to your house. This person says, oh, I can always tell. I've never had anyone try and be sneaky creepy, like pretend to be totally normal and then be creepy when I get there. They've always been very upfront about it, honestly. That's probably a good thing. Like I said, we're cautious. This is a small town too, so like it's I think if you're a creep, you're gonna get called. Like, I have a platform now, you're gonna get called out on it. So don't be a creep to us, because I will 100% call you out on it. Yeah, as far as like not putting your name out there, I don't think you should do that. Put your name out there. It's a small thing to be worried about putting your name out there because of how little it happens. But when it does happen, it can be bad, is what I'm trying to say. That is our Reddit story number 3. We have 2 more stories. I usually do about 5 when I'm solo, and they're pretty small. So Reddit story number 4 is from our housekeeping as well. It is... Okay, I love this one. Other household workers messing up my job. So, how do you deal with other workers in the household messing up your job before the client sees the cleaning job? I've cleaned a kitchen at a nice house, and the au pair comes in and with the kids and undoes the cleaning I've already done. I had asked the homeowner ahead of time what order to do things, and she told me it was fine to start the kitchen first. Should you lightly mention that the au pair used the kitchen while I was cleaning it? My service is just a regular house cleaning service, and I typically clean things once and move on. I don't stand on call for dirty dishes, or to clean up after people in real time. I had another incident in which a dog walker walked repeatedly across the floor with dirty boots after I cleaned it. Okay, so let's read the comments first, and then I'll give you my experience with this. And I had to put it in our best practice manual for the girls to read so that they know how to deal with something like this. Okay, so a commenter says, my job is to clean the space or room once, and that's all I'm paid for. Don't you think your client realizes that the au pair and kiddos use the kitchen after you clean it? I wouldn't stress about it unless the client brings it up. That would be your opportunity to tell them you don't go back over rooms or floors that have already been cleaned. Has the person complained? If not, this wouldn't bother me. Sometimes my clients, roommates, or even them make a mess directly after I clean. I'm not worried. I get paid either way. Another person says, I wish someone would address that it is disrespectful to do this in the house to the house cleaner. Absolutely take photos. Get those slobs in trouble so you don't. I had an 8-bedroom house to clean twice a week for 12 years, and let me tell you, I was fed up with painters, decorators, floor guys, towel guys, nannies, leaving a mess behind. As if it was their maid, as if I was their maid, and I wish cell phones had cameras back then. Okay, so that person is understandably pissed off, and I can see it from both sides. So in my experience, I clean for all different types of families. I clean for families that work from home. I clean for families that have their kids at home still. I clean for people who want to leave and don't ever want to be around us when we're there. I clean for so many different types of people. We are very thorough in our cleaning that if a room gets missed, it's not that big of a deal. We can come back next week or the next scheduled time we'll clean it. It doesn't add up a whole bunch of dust for us because we're very thorough when we clean every time. And even if it did, it's totally fine. We're going to get that the next time we're there. And our clients know that, especially the ones who are actively living in the houses when we're cleaning them. I've had clients who I cleaned the kitchen. I started cleaning the kitchen, and then the daughter comes in and starts to make soup. And I hadn't cleaned that space yet. That's fine. I'm not going to clean it. They know that. They don't care. I've had clients where I have one room left to clean because I'm working around them and I'm not doing it in the order that I usually do it. Go into the living room. And there's 6 people in there. I'm like, this is the last room I have to clean. They're like, go home. Cool. We'll get next time. Like, my clients, like, having that open communication really works. The au pair cleaning the kitchen or using the kitchen after you've cleaned it, like, chances are you're doing a more thorough clean than what she's going to do clean it up. Like, she's going to wipe the counters and put the dishes in the sink or in the dishwasher. You've moved everything back from the counters. You wipe the backsplash. Like, chances are she's not getting it that dirty right after. She could be making spaghetti sauce splattering ever she could be, but most likely she's not. So when your client comes in to see that, they're going to know, like, someone made toast here and there's juice spilt here, but the backsplash is clean and all the upper cabinets are clean. Like, they're going to see that. They're going to see that their appliances are wiped down. When it comes to contractors, this is what I had to put in our handbook. When it comes to contractors, I have a policy that you are supposed to go to the contractor's foreman, the lead, whoever that is, and tell them, hey, we're in the building. We'll be cleaning. This is how long we'll be. This is the spaces we'll be. If you need us to use a space, you need to wait for us to move all of our stuff out or for us to finish cleaning that space. Now, I know emergencies happen and they might need that specifically to do the job, but if they don't, they can wait for us to be done cleaning that space. I have had contractors, I've set up my whole bathroom, sprayed everything down, and stuff in the toilet. All my stuff is there, and I need to go get water to clean the shower that doesn't have a water hose. So we have buckets with portable shower heads that we use. I need to go to the kitchen to get it. I come back, the door's locked, and I can hear somebody in there. This contractor stepped all over my stuff, used the toilet. Like, there's chemical in there. He could have hurt himself. Didn't care. So that is after that happened, that's when I changed the policy. I've worked a lot with some really good contractors, people who are literally finishing up building the house while we're there starting to clean on one end. A lot of amazing people. However, some of them do not care, and that's why we need to make that contact first. Before I had my own cleaning company, I cleaned at the hospital here, and I had the same thing happen to me. I had my cart in an area, I'm cleaning, a maintenance guy comes in, right over top of my cart, starts to pull the tile down off of the ceiling. All that crud is going into my cart on all my stuff that's sanitized that I need to use to clean equipment in the hospital. I had words with him. I was like, you cannot do that. All you have to do is ask me to move my cart or wait for me to be done cleaning. Like, both of our jobs are important and they both need to be done safely. So it's all about communication and having those policies. Think through all the things that you go through that you know it's going to be a boundary. Put that in your handbook. If you're a solo cleaner, have your own handbook so that you know to go and look at it and you can answer those questions and tweak it as you go along. It's easier to remember things too, and you're not constantly rethinking the scenario every time. So that is my 2 cents on that. And you absolutely are allowed to be annoyed about it, but usually it's not that big of a deal coming from the client's perspective. They know that you cleaned it. And I tell them, I was like, if I'm still in the area and your cat walks through with cat litter and I have the vacuum in my hand, I'm going to go over that. Or if I see you spill something, I'm going to go over that. But if I'm way over there, I'm not going over it again. Sorry, man. They totally understandable. The floor's pretty clean except for a couple popcorn kernels. So that was our story number 4. Story number 5 is from our homemaking. I like that subreddit too. Okay, so tips for keeping a home clutter free. I just recently moved into my own house after growing up in a nasty hoarder house, and I'm doing my best to keep it clean and actually love cleaning. But I'm struggling a bit with keeping clutter under control the way I'd like it. My husband tends to leave stuff around the house, and we have 2 birds and a 10-week-old puppy, on top of living in a tiny house with not a lot of room. I'm pretty minimalistic, and my husband has more stuff, but not a whole lot. I think one of the issues I have is that my hoarder dad would get mad and throw a temper tantrum if somebody moved his stuff, and I'm still uncomfortable touching other people's things, even though my husband gave me permission to move anything of his. The other issues are dealing with the dishes. I'm an avid baker and cook in a teeny kitchen and the pet supplies. Any tips would be appreciated. Thanks. Okay, so let's read the comments first. You need to get your husband on board, face the challenge together, not working against each other. Someone says, yeah, him giving you permission to clean up his messes is not kindness. Even children learn to always leave your campsite cleaner than you found it. This other person says, can you create a clutter spot to move these odds and ends so that he can deal with it later, like a junk drawer or the like? I have 3-tier cubicle storage closet that's decorative and tidy to disappear odds and ends into. I like that because we're all going to have it. So you just have to find a different way to set it up. Okay, so this is one that I really like. I did read this first and I love it. And because I need help with clutter. I don't have a lot of things, but I have trouble cleaning up after work. My paperwork's everywhere, my computer's everywhere, my journals are everywhere, and my partner is amazing and he never gets annoyed at it, but it annoys me to see it, and so I need a better system as well. And my house is not that big either, so listen to this. This was great. This person said, there should be nothing that doesn't have a clear place in your home, like everyone knows. That everyone knows. So we all know that. Everything should have a place. We all hear that. But this is where it gets good. Best analogy I heard was that if you pick up a fork in your house, you know where it goes without thinking. Kitchen, cutlery drawer. Everything should be like the fork. Then there is how to deal with your tidiness and stuff. When I clean every day, I grab a washing basket and walk around the house, and everything that is not where it goes in the basket, and I put everything in the basket away. Never let it sit and become a doom basket. Everything away, which takes no time at all because everything has a place. So everything has a place, just like the fork. For your husband, give him a basket of his own, and anything you are not sure where he keeps it or where it goes into his basket, and he can put it away. Never go to bed with dishes in the kitchen or laundry unfolded and not put away. And make your bed within 20 minutes of getting up every day. That helps you keep the clutter down. I'm not an organizer because I throw stuff away. There's no way that I can go into someone's house and kindly help them organize stuff. I would chuck all your stuff. I would chuck it. I don't want if I haven't used it in 6 months and I'm not going to use it in 6 months, that's my rule. Chuck it. Have I regretted it? Did I need that thing in 7 months? Yeah, absolutely. Did it kind of like hurt a little bit in my emotions? A little bit, but not for long. Then I was like, hey, well, whatever. I didn't have it for almost over a year, so I'll be fine without it. Putting everything in a basket, I've heard of that too. I should do that. My stuff is just all my paperwork. which I'm getting better. I got files for it and a box for it, so that's good. Everything can be reorganized with cubbies too and different things like that, and I think that's where I need to like do that as well. On top of, so dishes in the sink, you have a tiny kitchen and you bake and cook a lot, like you're just gonna have to clean as you go. Like that's what you have to do. Clean as you go and dry your dishes at the end. No choice but to do that. And if you live in a tiny house, pet supplies, you're gonna have to make a designated spot for your pets and their supplies, and that's where that stuff goes. And then also this comment of your husband giving you permission to clean is not kindness. That is so true. You and your husband need to do this together. That's such a, and not saying that he did because I don't know him, but that's such a brush off. Like, yeah, go for it. You do it. Yeah, you do it. Like, no, that's gonna be, you're gonna be way overwhelmed because now you're gonna have your birds to take care of and your dog to take care of. And then if you have kids or you have people over, it's always gonna be like, yeah, go for it. Like, you can do whatever you want. No, give her some help, man. It sucks that you had to go through your dad throwing temper tantrums. He was obviously very ill, and I can see that you're trying to stop that from happening to you too. So, good job. But other than that, yeah, it's like constant, it's daily chores, like constant daily chores. And it seems very overwhelming, but the more you do it every day, the less hard it gets. It gets faster, you get better at it, and it actually takes less time and consumes less of your mental load and less of your actual physical time. So, and you like cleaning, so it's just the tidiness thing. I think doing the having everything have a place, like the fork and also the basket thing, will help you. For me, I don't mind a little bit of clutter on top of clean, but it's when the stuff under it gets dirty. When it's clutter on top of dirty, then I'm like, no, everything, like, we're cleaning all of it. I clean my house once a week, sometimes every second week. But I constantly clean up every day. Like, I vacuum all the time, at least once a day. And then if I have guests here, it's multiple times a day. My house is small, so I'm able to do that. And I don't go crazy with the vacuum every day. I vacuum the main spaces, and then on the days that I have designated for cleaning, I make sure I do a more thorough vacuum those days. But yes, those are our Reddit stories for today. This is our episode number 11. So, well, that's 2. This is episode number 11. So my goal was to do 12 episodes in a row once a month. And next month, I'm going to hit that goal for September. It's been quite a crazy journey having my own business, and I just have so much appreciation and love for anyone else who's ever served me with anything that they've done, whether it was their own business that I purchased a service from them, or it was going to the grocery store and going through the till, or going to a restaurant and having a server. Like, I have so much more respect for those people. And not that I didn't respect them before, and not that I thought I was better than them, but there was just like, I didn't understand. It was like a wall blocking it. And it was like, I'm paying them for a service. It better be good. And now I know it's like, actually, they're human. And it still better be good. And you better be freaking appreciative of it, is how I say it to myself. The more you grow, the more you learn. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for joining us today. If you're new here, share this with somebody. If you liked it, let me know. If you hated it, let me know. I have a pretty thick skin anyways, and I'm just like learning as I go. And it's cool that you guys are here with me. Like I said before, I love listener stories. So if you have any, send them in. Send me your creep stories. Send me your dirtiest Airbnb that you cleaned. Send me why you started cleaning. Send me like how you feel about pricing and how that changed for you. I want to hear it all. I always say I'll put links in the description, but I don't know if I've ever done that for my other social media pages, but you can find it. It's Mountain Peak Clean on Facebook, on Instagram, on TikTok, on YouTube, and on Spotify. So share this, like, subscribe.